Hello and welcome to the 13th episode of The Real List. It's 13, right? This is episode 13.
Yeah. Oh
right?
no, bad luck.
Why didn't we do a Halloween episode for 13? We are missing all of our best opportunities here. We didn't do, we don't do movies and times where they're topical. We didn't do Groundhog Day in February. But at least we have a Bill Murray movie. But anyway, this is The Real List podcast. It's a podcast about our real list. I'm your host, Ellis.
I'm your host, Gloria.
And we have a selection from me today. This is Caddyshack. This is, like I said, it's a Bill Murray film, but of course he's not the most well-known actor in it. It has Chevy Chase, it has Rodney Dangerfield, Michael O'Keefe, and Ted Knight, which aren't names that I recognize, but I assume that they're, something.
Names.
Yeah, they're names. I mean, I don't know if we've seen Michael O'Keefe in anything, although I will invoke the Where Do We Know This Guy, because you noticed, who was it, SpongeBob character? It was a Flying Dutchman, right? Was the head of the Caddies?
Oh yeah, what was his name? I think it was Michael O'Keefe. Hold on, let me.
No, because Michael O'Keefe was Noonan. It was the guy who was in charge of the rest of the Caddies. Anyway, this is a 1980 film. It's actually directed by Harold Ramis. So. Harold Ramis being Egon Spengler, also, long-standing career with Bill Murray, although their personal relationship is, well, that's a story for another time. But anyway, it's a story about a golf course. It's a story about a caddy who wants to win the caddy scholarship and go to college, or go to, what is he? He changes what he wants to be like 6 times throughout the film.
He said lawyer one time.
Yeah, he said lawyer. He said, at one point, I think a judge was calling him a senator, or something like that.
Yeah, he wants to be a senator.
Yeah, I mean, really, he wants the scholarship not because he wants to go to school, but because he wants to make his parents happy. And then meanwhile, who's the fellow who plays Judge?
Ted Knight.
It's Ted Knight? Okay. Elihu Smales, Judge Smales.
This guy right here, Brian Doyle Murray, is the voice of the Flying Dutchman.
Okay.
Lou Loomis is his character's name.
Lou Loomis.
Yeah, Lou Loomis.
I don't remember who that is in the movie.
He was the director of the Caddies.
He was the director of the Caddies?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I guess it has been 40 years since this movie came out. 42 years.
He's 76 years old.
That's ridiculous.
And look, there's a picture of him and Bill Murray.
He looks better than Bill Murray, but that's not saying much.
I know, right? Sorry, Bill.
Yeah. Well, the eye candy for this movie is Chevy Chase. The eye candy for the feminine persuasion. The other eye candy is
Nip Nops.
Yeah, Booby McTits. Who's, by the way, just gonna get this out there. If you're thinking of watching this movie yet, I know we're like 2 minutes into the review, but if you're thinking of watching this movie already, if you haven't seen it, there's a lot of tits in this movie. There's a surprising amount of tits in this movie. Just throwing that out there. So, not a thing to watch with your parents if you get awkward, nervous feeling over that stuff. That was kind of broken for me. I saw, well, there's not like tits in Ted, but I saw Ted in theaters with my mom. I watched like all of the first 4 seasons of Game of Thrones with my dad. So I've been broken of that. But again, not the kind of thing you want to go into not expecting a lot of boobs, because I was thinking when the female, or not even the love interest, but like the love distraction shows up and is like, I don't know, is like, look at my tits through my shirt, because it doesn't wear a bra through the entire film.
She's a trollop.
Yeah, she is. I mean, even in the Wikipedia article, it's like, Judge's promiscuous niece. And they call it out in the movie a couple of times how she tries to sleep with everyone, or has slept with everyone. And she goes around and bangs like almost every male lead in the movie.
Yeah, she banged. Who's the first guy she banged? Chevy Chase.
Yeah, she did Chevy Chase, and then she did Danny Noonan, and probably some other people along the way.
But I mean, the girl that he was also involved with also slept with a lot of people as well. Because she was like, I'm pregnant, but the baby's not even yours.
The baby, not yeah. I mean, that's true.
So nobody's faithful on the golf course.
No, everyone is cheating on this golf course.
What are we, swingers? What is this?
Yes, swingers of golf clubs. Actually,
also, the actor who played Danny Noonan did not age well. He looks like a pedophile.
It's been 42 years. Oh, never mind. Yikes.
You see what I mean?
Yikes. Okay, sorry, Michael O'Keefe, if you watch this. I don't mean to make you feel bad.
He's 66 years old.
Yeah, he looks it. Anyway, so...
Sorry.
It's this whole thing between... I didn't really get to explain the movie, but I mean, what explanation do you really need?
It's a golf movie.
Yeah, it's a golf movie. There's the kid, he's trying to win the caddy tournament, and in the meantime, Judge Smales... I can hear it. Yeah. In the meantime, Judge Smales is trying to run his golf course and defend his golf course from the likes of Rodney Dangerfield.
Who's building an apartment complex across the street.
Yeah, who's building condos next door, which is pissing off Smales. And he just shows up, and he's super bombastic, and he has this great entry scene with the hat. And, you know, I'll take 2 of those, I'll take a dozen of those, I'll take some of those naked lady tees, I'll take some orange balls, and, would you look at this hat, this is the ugliest hat I've ever seen.
Cut to Judge Smales wearing the hat,
yeah.
And he's like, but it looks good on you.
Yeah, it looks good on you, though. Then he rolls his eyes. Anyway, so, you know, he's causing a ruckus. Eventually he makes a bet with Smales for... initially $20,000 and then eventually $80,000 after 2 double or nothings. Mm-hmm. But he doesn't end up playing the back half of the tournament, or the you know, they're going against one another, the golf versus.
Danny takes over.
Yeah, Danny takes over because Rodney Dangerfield fakes an injury.
He's like, I broke my arm.
Oh my god, the gags with his golf bag. And what's in the golf bag?
He had a radio. He had a beer tap.
He had a telephone.
He had a telephone. He had... What else did he have?
Oh my god, I don't know, but he had so much... Just, you know, the caddies are carrying it around. They're like, oh, what is in here? Bricks? And he's like, no, let's party. And he opens a pocket and there's a radio. And, like, built into the bag. Not like it was carrying a radio. Like, it's built like a car stereo.
Built into his bag.
And,
can we just talk about how much of a pervert Bill Murray is in this movie?
Oh, yeah! He's perving on all the old ladies on the golf course.
Yeah, he's... The first scene of introductory to Bill Murray is he's standing behind a bush, and he looks like he's jerking off, but he's over by the ball cleaning station, and he's just pumping the balls and cleaning them, and he's just talking to himself about these old ladies playing golf.
Oh, yeah, look at him go.
Look at him go.
Oh, man. If I can remember a single thing he says in this movie... Well, I mean, that's not true. I can remember some of the stuff. I mean, the bit where he's whacking the flowers with the grass thing and talking about, Cinderella story. He's coming up from nothing. Oh, it's in the hole! Which is probably the most famous line from this movie, which has nothing to do with the plot.
And then he goes and plays golf with Judge Smales, and he gets electrocuted.
Was that Judge? I don't think that was Smales that got electrocuted.
It was.
Are you sure?
It was.
Okay. I don't know. It doesn't show up in the Wikipedia article at all. I was going on about this because there are like 3, I guess you could say, very infamous moments from this movie. I mean, there are more than 3, but I'm thinking about the ones that have been made into memes. The ones that I can find in the GIFs tab of Discord easily. And it's we're waiting.
Which is also from Family Guy Star Wars, if anybody's seen that.
Yeah. And the something else with Bill Murray, I probably am blowing up the gopher holes. And then the relatively... What was I talking about? Oh, yeah, the guy holding his golf club up in rage and getting electrocuted.
That was Smales.
That was Smales, if you say so.
Yes, it was.
That's a particularly famous moment. It has, as so far as I can tell, no bearing on the plot whatsoever. And another another scene that has no bearing on the plot that I just learned about while reading about this movie is the scene where Chevy Chase plays through the groundskeeper's hut where Bill Murray lives. That wasn't in the script originally, and Ramis realized, oh, I don't have a scene with my two leads, or two relatively famous people together. Mm-hmm. This is the only movie that Chevy Chase and Bill Murray were ever in together.
Really?
And so that is the only scene in all of cinema with the two of them.
Really?
Yeah. Allegedly, according to Wikipedia, which we all know is completely accurate.
But I love how... Okay, can we just talk about the fact that Bill Murray brings out this long of a fucking joint and was like, here, smoke this.
It's that joint, but do you remember what it was made out of? It was made of his custom crossbred grass that he was breeding in his groundskeeper shack, which actually I thought was a thing to talk about because you sort of get a window on, like, he's nuts, but he clearly he's smart on some level because he managed to grow like a grass crossbreed on his own, which apparently seemed great, and he was just like, oh yeah, you can take this and you can play 18 holes on it, and then you can take some home and roll it up and get higher than a kite or something like that. And so
I need some of that shit.
Why? So you can play golf? You already got the other part down. Listen, you got to go out on the porch to do that. You're not playing golf on the porch. Okay?
But what if
or you're fixing any windows that you break. We're adding a second rule. No playing golf in the house.
I'm not going to play golf in the house.
Oh, no, you're just going to play it on the porch.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
The porch has more windows per square foot. What? The odds set of balls going through a piece of glass is much higher out there. So, no. You can go play golf at Triggs. It's like, you can walk there easily. No? You can, though.
I know. I'll just play golf in the backyard.
No! There's too many windows!
How about I face it towards the hill?
How about it bounces off a rock and goes through the window?
How about it bounces off a rock and hits me in the face and I get a black eye?
Yeah, see, that's why you should go to Triggs.
Nah.
No. Even if you show up like Rodney Dangerfield, I'll get you a bag like Rodney Dangerfield's.
Why? So I can lug it around?
They have golf carts. Do you remember the existential crisis that happened for the caddies, like a third of the way to this movie, where they're getting into a fight? You know, Noonan's fighting with this antagonistic caddy, and the head of caddies comes out and is like, "Hey, shape up, or I'll replace you all with golf carts." And I was like, "Oh crap, that's like a real threat in 1980." These caddies are gonna have to unionize. But I mean, I could go on about the jokes. I mean, this is a pretty good. It's a pretty good and funny film. It has a plot that isn't exactly tangled up in knots, but it's not straightforward. It is not like, oh, I want this, so I'm gonna go get it. He mentions the scholarship. Mm-hmm. You know, Noonan mentions trying to get the scholarship. Or at the very beginning, it's like, oh, he can't get it because it already went to somebody else, and then that kid died. Or kill himself or something. I remember it being briefly mentioned.
Did he?
And yeah. And so it was up for grabs again. And then Smales mentions it to him. And it's like, so we have this scholarship that's up for grabs. Because he's trying to get in Smales' good graces to get the thing.
Yeah, but then he totally fucks it up by fucking his niece.
Yeah. But, you know.
But then Smales is like, it's like, can we forget about what happened and you know, all this good stuff, and we'll give you that scholarship there, good boy. And
yeah, I love that. And normally it's from like a father, but you love that, like, oh, no, don't worry, we can forget about the thing that I hate you for. And that's right before right before you're asked to go hunting with him and don't come back. Like, oh, yeah, no, I totally forgive you, buddy. It's okay. Here, to make it up to you, just come with me to this secluded place, and nothing bad will happen. But the whole thing with that is he's trying to get the scholarship, and he does the caddy tournament, and he wins the caddy tournament, right? He does, and that's like a random aside. You'd think that's the mountain that he has to climb. It's like, oh, he has to win the caddy tournament, and then he just sort of goes and wins the caddy tournament, and it's like a 5-minute segment, if that.
And then he has to worry about Judge Smales like canceling the scholarship and stuff because of he helps Rodney Dangerfield and Webb.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. I think by the end of the movie, he doesn't care about the scholarship.
No.
I think by that time that's come, he's just like, he doesn't really get a resolution to what he wants. But it's okay.
In my opinion, the resolution was the golf course got blown up.
Yeah.
The golf course got blown to smithereens by Bill Murray placing a whole bunch of C4
rabbits and
squirrels in the gopher holes and just letting rip. Like, this man full on just got a whole bunch of C4 putty and made animals out of it, and then went throughout the whole golf course and stuck animals
in the gopher holes. And even in one scene, he even bites the head off one of the clay animals, and he just spits the head out in the gopher hole. And I'm like, why would you put that in your mouth? He's biting the head off of a C4 squirrel like he's biting the pin out of a grenade. And he chucks the thing into the hole, and then he spits the head into the hole. And he's like, yeah, how do you like that? And then he wires it up with the rest of them.
Why would you put C4 putty in your mouth? It's not sanitary.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure. Did you see the man's hands in that movie?
I was gonna say the C4 putty is probably the least of his worries.
Chevy
Chase was playing golf on his dinner.
Gross.
Also,
wait, no, that was a patch of grass.
No, it landed like right in like a pizza box or something.
No, but Chevy Chase picked up the ball and put it on a patch of grass.
Right, but the ball landed in the pizza. Like, okay, what is the biggest difference there? Are you gonna eat the pizza less if somebody swings at it? You're not gonna eat it either way. It had a golf ball on it. Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought.
Don't judge me, okay? Don't judge me.
You're getting golf ball pizza.
I'll golf ball your pizza.
None pizza left tees. Actually, I'm just thinking of a what? The none pizza left tees?
Yeah.
No, you don't remember the none pizza left beef?
No.
No? Okay, I showed you that once. Hold on. We're gonna look this up. We're taking a detour in the middle of Caddyshack.
Excuse me.
None pizza left beef.
What is that?
It's none pizza left beef. I don't know what you want from me. It's none with beef on the left. I should throw in a yeah, I'm gonna throw in like an overlay of this during the episode. This is the most editing I will ever do for this podcast, is to put in a picture of none pizza left beef. Why would you do that?
Why?
So I'm just imagining golf pizza. It's just golf balls on bare pizza.
I'm pretty sure you can find a picture of that on Google.
Golf pizza?
Golf ball pizza.
Hold on. Golf pizza.
What?
What is this? To read greens better, think about the green as a pizza slice. It's a way to up your golf game using pizza. Man, golf really is the sport for... never mind. The sport for people who don't want to, like, run around. It's a sport where you get to drive around in a cart and stand up for, like, maybe some of it. It's...
oh, Jesus. This movie.
I love this movie, though. It was not as good as I remember it being, but I was still thoroughly cracking up at least every scene that Rodney Dangerfield is in.
Oh my god, Rodney Dangerfield's such a character. Like, I literally could not stop just, like, thinking of, like, an old man that you would run into who acts like Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah, one of them's my dad. Rodney Dangerfield is my dad's favorite comedian, and he will quote him all the time. And he has this sort of air. He has this air of just, like, a supreme amount of jokes per minute. Like, a normal stand-up comedian, you build up to the jokes, you know? You get a little bit of setup, and then you start cracking jokes based on the setup, and then you use it, and you move on to the next setup. Rodney Dangerfield is just all jokes. He's constantly high energy, he's constantly causing chaos, cracking jokes. making things, just making things hilarious. I mean, I can't stop thinking about the sequence that I completely forgot, which I did forget most of this movie. I'd seen it many years ago. Probably, what's funny? I saw it many years ago, probably relatively too young to see a movie with this many boobs in it, at least by the American, way to watch movies. I feel like I didn't get to watch Airplane until I was, I don't know, older, at least old enough to appreciate it. Maybe I wouldn't have appreciated it as much when I was younger with the jokes and everything, because some of them are kind of subtle. We gotta watch Airplane. Have you seen Airplane? Oh my god.
Nope.
That is #1 jokes per minute movie. It's so funny. And that movie just has one scene where everybody's panicking on the plane and a lady just runs in front of the camera and shakes her tits and then runs off screen. That's it. Gloria just covered my eyes. That was that, and I expected something akin to that, maybe 0.5 seconds of boobliest boob lady's boobs, but a la Romeo and Juliet, but instead we just got full on scenes, and I was like, holy crap! And anyway, I wanted to get to the pool scene because I wanted to talk about the boat scene. Where Rodney Dangerfield is just causing chaos and crashes into Snail's new boat and then drops the anchor straight through the middle of it and sinks it. But the pool scene is one of the ones I remember from my childhood because of the Baby Ruth. Where they drop the Baby Ruth in the pool and it floats around. They notice it. They think all the caddies think it's a piece of poop, and then Bill Murray's cleaning the pool out with a whole hazmat getup on, and he notices the Baby Ruth and realizes it's just a candy bar, and he takes a bite out of it in front of everyone, who still thinks it's a turd.
And then the judge's wife, just passes out.
Yep.
She's like, "Oh, he ate poop."
Oh my god.
Okay, so the boat scene is what everybody was just out in. What was it, a dinner? It was a charity event or something?
No, Snails was christening his new yacht.
Okay, so he invited Danny for that?
He invited Danny because Danny had got in his good graces.
Okay, so yeah, he invites Danny to
the christening.
To the christening, and the wife breaks off the nose of the boat.
Yeah, she breaks off the bow of the boat trying to christen it. She hits it with the bottle of champagne and it just snaps off.
And then Rodney Dangerfield's got this giant yacht, and it's called Seafood. The boat's name is Seafood.
That was so great.
The boat's name is Seafood, and he's like, "Oh, we're gonna go this way towards my friend," and he starts just plowing through everybody, making messes of people's boats,
crashing through a sailing school,
knocking people off their jet skis. Yeah. And then he knocks himself into this ocean podium kind of thing, and all these people start falling in the water, and then he finally crashes through, and he barely hits the judge's boat, and then he drops anchor through the judge's boat.
And what does he say to the judge?
He's like, "You scratched my anchor."
Yeah. He goes, "Oh, you scratched my anchor. Hey, judge." Because when he's just motoring around to the bay and he sees the judge's christening in the distance, and he's like, hey, I want to go over there. And his helmsman doesn't hear him, so he just goes up there and pushes his helmsman out of the way and doesn't know how to drive the boat. So that's why he's just causing chaos.
Rule number 1, if you want to have a boat, know how to drive the fucking boat.
I think rule number 1 is, if you want to have a boat, don't. Don't. Be rich or don't. Get a friend with a boat.
I got a family member with a boat.
Yeah, me too. That's good. That's all you need.
You got a family member with a boat?
Yeah, John's family, the Holmeses, they have J-Mac, which is a 40-foot sailboat. It's actually really cool. They take it to Block. They used to take it to Block Island every year. Uh,
I can get on a boat.
no, you should go sailing. We should go sailing with them. I haven't been on their boat in forever. It's actually nice.
I don't like the ocean. I'll go.
You'll be,
I'll
you'll be
go
okay.
swimming, but like I don't.
You want listen. You don't like planes. You don't like boats. You want to go to Europe. You got to get there somehow. We're not gonna walk. I don't know Jesus that well.
I don't know Jesus that well. Okay, so is there anything else you want to talk about before we get into the star
I think you
ratings?
need to call the number on the billboard by Route 10. That's like call to learn about Jesus. Maybe then we can walk to Italy. Anyway.
Do you want to talk about anything else before we?
I want to talk about
into star ratings.
the relationship mess for a second, because we talked about how everyone was cheating, not only on the golf course but off the golf course. There's so many instances of them like kicking, Smales in particular, like nudging balls with his foot to get him in a better place.
Oh yeah.
But because you made me think of it because it was at the christening that protagonist met Tits McTitties, and they went off and banged in the judge's house.
Yeah, in the judge's bed, in
yeah.
the judge's room, because I think the judge and his wife have separate bedrooms.
Yes, they do. They are that prudish.
But they have separate bedrooms, and they have sex in Judge Smale's room. And Danny looks up at him, and he's like, the judge is already pissed off.
Yeah.
And so the judge has a golf club in his hand.
Wait. You forgot one more thing, which is they have sex in his bed.
And Danny's also wearing his robe.
Yeah, and then she puts the judge's robe on Danny, and then the judge walks in. Yeah, and then, like you were saying, goes full shining on on Danny, who's locked himself in the bathroom
where the judge's wife is, and she's like, she opens the door in the shower, and she's like, can you scrub my back? And she realizes it's not her husband, and she looks down at Danny, and she was like, oh, hi.
Yeah, exactly. She doesn't want to have separate bedrooms.
She's like, I haven't gotten in a while. You want to come in the shower?
That isn't said.
She doesn't say that, but
that's only implied.
You can see it in her face. And then, like Ella said, with the judge cheating by kicking the ball out of places where he doesn't want, where he can get an advantage.
He's not the only one that does that too.
Who else does it?
I feel like he's not the only one that does that. I feel like the golf cheating is just rampant in this movie. Like, nobody's taking the competition.
You know who didn't cheat? You know who didn't cheat? Chevy Chase.
That's true.
Also, before we get into the star ratings, Chevy Chase.
Oh boy.
The first scene, like the first formal scene with Chevy Chase, there's this woman walking by in an orange dress, and mind you, she looks hot. She looks hot. But Chevy Chase does the weird lizard tongue thing after she walks by, like.
I think.
If you don't know what the lizard tongue thing is, it's like when
you'll find out when you're older.
You find out when you're older. Hi Lafayette, come here.
He's telegraphing that he wants to engage in cunnilingus. If you don't know what that is, you'll find out when you're older.
Stop being a virgin.
Well, were it so easy. Anyway, yeah, we got to do star ratings. We're running a little long here. I think the golf pizza thing got us off track, but I am going to give it 4 stars because I like this movie. It's not as good as I remember, and it's not. I wouldn't say it's outstandingly good, but it is a good movie, and it's worth a watch.
I'll give it a 4 too.
You're gonna give it a 4?
Because it's my first time seeing this movie, and I really liked it. I thought it was really funny, and it made me chuckle.
It's a chuckleable movie.
And Chevy Chase was hot in this movie. So.
Oh my God! There's gratuitous shots of Chevy Chase bending over.
And I think that was for a reason.
Oh, it was absolutely for a reason.
Can you stop sniff in my ear?
I know I mentioned Robin Hood earlier. Also, just to clarify, Glory was talking to the dog, not me.
Yes, Lafayette came to say hi.
I was not violently sniffing their ear in the middle of the show. I know last episode there was a lot of cold hands touching, but
he bitey.
Anyway, I know I mentioned Romeo and Juliet, and there's the disparity of how much the ladies get in that movie versus how much the guys get in that movie. Like there's a full 2 minutes of Romeo's butt, which is a nice butt, but there's 0.63 seconds of Juliet's tit. And that is exactly what every freshman boy wants and was hoping out of this movie. But it's like, then you got to suffer through the rest of it. Because you're 14 and you're homophobic by nature, and you're like, ooh, but, even if it's a good but. Even if you're going to turn out gay later, you just might not have figured it out yet. You got to keep up appearances, you know? It's high school. They're brutal out there. Anyway. What the heck was I saying? There's that.
Something
yeah,
about homophobia.
You know, there's lots of tits in this movie, and, like, enough Chevy Chase butt to placate the ladies who would otherwise be getting mad at me for enjoying this movie as much as I do. Anyway, I think that's it for this episode. We need to go and get ready for the next one, which is Space Jam.
Space Jam DVD.
The original Space Jam.
No, we're not watching the original Space Jam.
Oh, we're not?
We're watching Space Jam 2.
Oh, you said Space Jam. I thought you meant the original. We own the original.
But is the original Space Jam on our list?
Is it? Is it? Isn't it? Never mind. Maybe it is the second one. I've been thinking it was the. Well, there's Space Jam 2. Oh, no, the other one's Spaceballs. Okay, so no, Space Jam is not on the list, but Caddyshack wasn't either, and I didn't realize that. Okay, I guess we're watching Space Jam 2. We should do a double feature.
Want to do a double feature?
We should do a double feature.
Make
how
the episode
do we
an
watch?
hour long.
Yeah, how do we watch Space Jam 2? What is that on?
On HBO Max.
Do we have that?
Yes, we do. We get a third
Okay.
provider.
Okay. Thank you. I'm just gonna ask that question every time.
Like the same
Yeah.
thing with Godzilla vs. Kong and Mortal Kombat. We're gonna have to watch those through HBO Max.
What a cop out that movie is.
Oh, shut up!
It
You're
is.
Mad.
It is. It
You're
is.
mad. Be
We're
mad.
I am mad.
Be mad.
I was promised Godzilla vs. Kong, and I got something else.
Be mad.
I am mad.
Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.